In a surprising turn of events, Diddy is begging a judge for a transfer to a New Jersey jail, claiming the conditions in Brooklyn are too harsh for him to endure. But as he seeks leniency for himself, one question remains. Does Diddy deserve to endure the harsh conditions of his current prison with rats, roaches, and killers, or should he be granted a transfer to a more favorable facility? The judge said that Diddy's legal team must file a motion on the question of his prison location by Monday. Diddy's next court appearance is scheduled for October 9th, 2024. No trial date has been set for Diddy yet, and he could be waiting a while behind bars. If the judge grant Diddy's transfer request, what could this shift mean for his case and Diddy's future? Improved conditions. The new facility might offer better living conditions, which could positively impact Diddy's mental and physical health, allowing him to engage more effectively with his legal team. Enhanced legal strategy. A more conducive environment may facilitate easier communication and preparation for his defense, potentially leading to a stronger case as he navigates ongoing legal challenges. Public perception and image. Being in a less high-profile facility might help minimize media scrutiny, allowing him to navigate his case with less distraction and public pressure. Impact on plea negotiations. With better mental clarity, Diddy might be more open to discussing plea deals or settlements, which could expedite the resolution of his case. Judicial implications. The judge's willingness to grant the transfer could signal a more lenient approach in Diddy's overall treatment, possibly affecting sentencing or other legal outcomes down the line. Rehabilitation. Focus. A transfer might position Diddy in a facility that emphasizes rehabilitation, allowing him to get sober and work on personal growth and reform, which could play a role in future legal considerations and public image. A successful transfer could reshape Diddy's current legal battle, offering him a more favorable platform from which to address his circumstances and future opportunities. However, this decision could spark public scrutiny regarding whether he has ever shown the same consideration to his victims. Did he ever extend compassion or mercy when it truly mattered? Many doubt that Diddy feels any remorse for those he harmed, so why should the courts feel any sympathy for him? Diddy's history includes allegations of violence and manipulation in various situations. Diddy understood the impact of his actions while he was traumatizing his victims like Cassie. Diddy never offered a genuine apology to his victims. Many see this request as self-serving. The contrast between his desire for comfort and the pain his actions caused others highlights a troubling double standard. As Diddy seeks a more favorable environment, he knows the legal community and human rights activist is watching his case closely. Diddy wants to manipulate us to gain sympathy. But he is not a victim, and he don't have the ability to demonstrate genuine remorse and understanding of his victims' experiences. You will hear from Diddy's old publicist later explaining how Diddy know how to manipulate a narrative to go in his favor. Diddy has seemingly overlooked how the victims affected by his past behavior might feel sidelined by his focus on his own situation, raising doubts about whether he truly acknowledges their struggles, or is he merely trying to evade the consequences of his actions. However, a documentary is scheduled to be released soon, giving some of his survivors a voice and platform to share their horrific experiences with Diddy.
Audience, first of all, you have a past with Diddy. You worked very closely with him. Tell us when that was and how closely you worked with the music mogul.
I was Diddy's publicist for a couple of years, about 20 years ago, so 2003, 2004. I ended up doing his publicity for a couple of years. He was a really instrumental person in my PR life. I'd never really represented a celebrity as big as that. I went on to represent other big stars, but he was sort of like my first. And in many ways, he taught me how to be a publicist. He knows how to manipulate a narrative. He knows how to tell a story. He knows knows how to be exciting, flashy. And so I've got to be honest here. My time with Diddy overall was pretty positive. Is he demanding? Yes. Is he bossy? Yes. Would he call me 10 to 20 times a day? Yes. But also, too, there was a good part of him, too.
And you call the allegations against him shocking. So none of what he's being accused of you ever saw when the two of you interacted.
Yeah, and I think this is backed up in the lawsuit. When 20 years ago, Diddy seemed to be a much different man than he was just 10 years ago. So I did not see any of this behavior. Did I see him being treated like a king? Of course. Did I see him enjoying being a celebrity? Yes. Of all the big stars I've worked with, Diddy enjoyed being Diddy more than anybody else. He loved the spotlight. He loved people talking about him. And now that's what they're doing. But I guess he's not loving it now.
No. And Rob, what we're seeing happen, his friend and social circle didn't just shrink. It has evaporated. And we look at picture after picture of him with multiple A-list celebrities over the years. What are you hearing in Hollywood about folks distancing themselves from him?
Oh, people do not want to touch this. At first, they were on the fence. They sort of supported him behind the scenes. And then that videotape came out. CNN broke that tape of him assaulting Cassie. After that, game over. That was the turning point here. It is hard to overestimate how connected Diddy was. This is a guy who was friends with Anna Wintour, the editor-in-chief of Vogue. He was friends with the Lauders, with Estee Lauder's company, where he had a fragrance. He was friends with the people that ran Bloomingdale's and Macy's and sold his Sean John collection. He was the most successful rapper, not because of his music output, but because he became this brand. He taught celebrities you can make more money selling fragrance than selling music. And so he was a pioneer in that way. All these people now who he would count as friends have all disappeared.
Right. And he is the only target for prosecutors right now in this case. However, many are saying there are others who knew. So the question becomes, are there more defendants coming? What are you hearing?
Yeah, definitely. I think the prosecutor has said nothing is off the table here. There are people around Diddy who have been there for decades. Recently, his longtime publicist, Natalie Moore, who's been there for 20 years, she appears as if she has quit. Her phone is no longer ringing. Her email has been discontinued. Also, to his chief of staff, Kristen Karim, who has been with him for several years too. People have called her the Ghislaine Maxwell of this organization. That is nothing that anybody ever wants to be called. And so other people here are involved. I think the scope of this, how big this was, made it impossible for one person to do it all. He had enablers, he had people around him, and now those people are all scrambling, worried if they're going to be indicted next.
Yeah, you're right, Rob. This is just the beginning. And this facility where he's being held is notoriously tough. It's a place that we've heard judges don't even want to send defendants. Some say that he is on suicide watch right now. What are you hearing, if anything, from those closest to him about concerns around his safety?
Really good point. My sources are telling me he absolutely is on suicide watch. I broke this just a few days ago. He's been watched 24/7. We all have to remember that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide while under investigation, and they don't want that to happen again. This is a really tough facility. Michael Cohen, who worked for Donald Trump, was there. R. Kelly has been there. It is a notoriously bad jail. I think in the last 2 months, 2 people have been stabbed there. There has been at least 4 or 5 people commit suicide at this facility in recent years. So he is being watched very, very carefully. They don't want anything to happen to Diddy. They want him to go to trial. They want him to face justice.
In this complex narrative, Diddy's quest for leniency underscores a deeper moral dilemma. Is true redemption possible without first showing compassion to those harmed? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.